Um, I am going to answer some of the questions, some other ones I've come up with, because I think I'm better talking and explaining myself than writing. So here you go. Okay. Okay. Question 1. How shall I live knowing I shall die? I think that although there could be a heaven somewhere else, and that there could be life after death and that we will die, that shouldn't necessarily affect our time on earth right now. And the way we live should be the way we want to live. And hopefully that will be with a moral code and stuff, and that will come from religion sometimes. But I also think it's possible for people to be good people without needing a moral code, without doing it just to go to heaven. Because I don't think there's any way to know what happens after life, so you might as well enjoy the time you do have, because you could end up having nothing. Next question. If you were come to face with your own creator or higher self, and he or she asked for a suggestion, how would you go about deciding on the suggestion? I don't think it's important about how I would decide the suggestion, but more what would the suggestion be? And that's hard because you could say oh, I don't want there to be pain on earth, I don't want there to be sadness, but truthfully, you need all that stuff. It gives us something to accomplish. If there was no suffering, we would have no goals, and the beauty of achieving a goal, you wouldn't get to feel that because you wouldn't have had the obstacle in your way that you would have had to overcome in the first place. So I wish people were more open-minded to each other, but I don't even know if I could wish that on the earth, because again, I think that's something that humans have to accomplish, is loving each other more, and hopefully that will come, eventually, now that we can communicate with each other and be able to tell each other hey, be nice. That sounds really lame, but truth, because no one told all those pharaohs and showed them examples of how to be nice, and they're probably going to be taken over anyways, and then be found in a grave and be put in a history museum. I don't want my body shown 500 years later. I bet my pores wouldn't look good. What if we could use 100% of our mind? That'd be terrible. I love when random memories pop up in your head and you're like, hey, I'm so glad I remember that. That made me really happy. So, that's the answer to that question. Are you comfortable with the idea that the shape of the future depends on how you invest your psychic energy now? Yeah, I'm pretty content with my psychic energy, I would say. These questions are off the big questions from Portland, Oregon's humanity class, so they're not mine. But I think my psychic energy is pretty good. I think I do a good job of trying to utilize my brain as much as I can to do the most good. So I'm pretty proud of myself. I think I'm okay for my future. What is the truth? That is a hard one because I'm really relativist. I believe that people are not inherently bad. They're trying to do good, and that the way we can interpret their things, we don't know their intentions. So sometimes it can be seen as really bad, and I do believe that everyone is really trying to not do bad in the world. They're trying to do the most good, And sometimes there is no truth. There's no way to say that the best way to be nice is to give everyone charity and give them all your money, because then they don't learn anything. And those people become like the spoiled ones, and the people who gave are just, well, they were nice, but like, I think we have to be as rational as we can to determine what we think will do the most good, but be content that we'll probably make mistakes. If you think of utilitarian, you try to do the most good and you end up hurting someone a lot. So on a smaller scale, try to do what you know will affect someone, but it's hard to determine what the truth is globally and universally. I don't know if that's something we can determine or have the right to determine as humans. What was a defining moment that changed the direction of your life? Well, probably my birth. That'd be a good one. And then the example I used in class, when someone told me, like, you're a great leader, but you don't listen to other people. Totally true. I started to realize how important other people's opinions are, and how much easier that whole weekend would have gone if I had listened to other people's opinions. And I really think everyone has something to say that's like really important, and sometimes I need to shut up so that they can hear that. Sometimes I'm being loud to get the other people to shut up. Then there's just a lot of noise. Yep, sounds about right. What is the purpose in my life? Well, I think I've said this before, but I think my purpose is to find a purpose. And the meaning of life is to give life a meaning. That's basically how I would sum it up. I'm super content with not knowing. My point of life is to explore. Every time I learn a new thing, I get all excited, and even Miss Brock and I were talking about today, like, my energy and passion to, like, learn, just, like, it overwhelms me sometimes. I'm just excited for life and to discover more things, and I don't want to be content with not knowing things, I guess. Yeah. I plan to question everything, and if that makes me never have answers and just has a lot of questions, I'm okay with that. So maybe I'll have the question of what's the meaning of my life, and I'll never have an answer. But I'm gonna be content with that, I think. Yep. And does the universe have a purpose? No. I definitely think, like, in the Big Bang Theory, and it was like, boom, like, oh my gosh, wow, there's humans now, and then we stood up, and then our brains could suddenly think, and then, like, wow, we got emotions, and, like, we've developed so far, and we just have developed so much that we started to believe that, like, we were here for our purpose. But, like, I feel like that's really conceited thinking, and that I think we're accidentally here, so we might as well enjoy it while we're here. And wow, I'm, like, discovering stuff as I say it. Interesting. But totally true. I definitely, like, oh, my phone's ringing. So that's the end. Those are my answers to all the questions. That was actually the last one. So thanks. Bye. Also, I would just like to thank you for the semester and the semester before. It's been really fun, and I'm glad to have taken your classes.